Let me say this first. If you're in a season where you feel like you're doing everything alone, like nobody gets you, like nobody's walking beside you, you're not weak, you're not forgotten, you're not broken, you're being built. And today, I want to talk about what you actually learn when you play solo. In life, in the spirit, in your habits, and even in games. Because that solo season, it'll either break you, or it'll shape you into someone unstoppable. Before we get into this life-changing message, take a moment to like this video, subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment below. Your support doesn't just help the channel, it helps the mission. Every like pushes this message further. Every comment becomes part of something bigger than us. We're not just creating content, we're building a movement. So show love, stay connected, and let's keep growing together. Now let's get into it. People mix up two things all the time, being alone and being lonely. See, when you play solo, in life or in the game, you realize something powerful. You don't need noise to feel whole. You don't need an audience to grow. You don't need constant company to matter. Being solo forces you to face the silence. And silence, that's where God speaks. The world tells you to be afraid of being alone. But spiritually, that's where strength starts. Playing solo teaches you who you are without the hype, without the distractions, without the backup, without the likes. It's like taking off a mask you didn't even know you were wearing. You start asking, do I really like what I do every day? Am I just copying what everyone else is doing? Who am I when there's no one to impress? It's uncomfortable, but it's real, and real is what heals you. Every legend you admire, they trained in the dark first. They practiced when nobody was clapping. They studied when nobody cared. They failed, alone, and didn't quit. Solo play builds focus, discipline, patience, self-awareness. In games, when you go solo, you can't rely on teammates to carry you. You either figure it out or fall behind. Same in life. Playing solo forces you to problem solve with what you've got. And that right there, that's where genius gets born. When you're solo, you can finally hear your own thoughts again. You don't have to. Check in with everyone's opinions. Worry about group approval. Water yourself down just to fit in. It's just you and the mission. And that clarity, it's rare. It's quiet, but it's powerful. Because once you know what you actually want, you stop chasing what everyone else told you to want. Playing solo means you carry the wins and the losses. There's no one else to blame, no excuses to fall back on. You failed? That's on you. You won? That's on you too. It teaches you accountability like nothing else. And once you stop being scared of failure, you become dangerous in the best way. Because people who aren't afraid to fall can rise with no limits. When you're always surrounded by others, you end up repeating their thoughts, not your own. Playing solo forces you to have conversations with yourself. Why did I do that? What am I running from? What would I do differently next time? It's like therapy with no therapist. You learn to be your own coach, your own hype man, your own safe place. And that's deep spiritual maturity. Once you've been solo for a while, you don't tolerate just anybody in your space anymore. You stop mistaking noise for support. You stop letting everyone into your circle just because you're bored. Because when you've learned to love your own company, you don't let people come in and mess up your peace. That discernment, it's spiritual armor. And it only gets sharpened when you've walked alone for a while. Here's the part people miss. Playing solo doesn't mean you're anti-people. It means when you do connect, you do it on purpose. You don't fake it anymore. You don't chase empty conversations. You don't stay in draining rooms. You find people who speak the same spiritual language, who uplift, not just entertain, who feel real. And those relationships, they last, because they're built on alignment, not loneliness. Let's go deeper now. Playing solo can feel isolating, but the truth is, you're never actually alone. There's something divine walking with you, guiding you, refining you. And when you're not distracted by the crowd, you finally feel it. That whisper in your spirit, that conviction, that strength that didn't come from you. That's God, and He does some of His best work when it's just you and Him. So here's what I've learned. Playing solo isn't a setback. It's a setup for strength, for self-knowledge, for spiritual clarity. It's not the easy path, but it's the honest one. And if you're in that season right now, Where it feels like no one's walking with you, don't rush out of it. Sit in it. Grow in it. Ask yourself the hard questions. Because when you play solo, you don't just level up in the game, you level up in life. In single-player games, you're not waiting for someone else to revive you. You're not hoping someone carries you to the win. You're not relying on someone else's skill or vision. It's just you, your decisions, your path. You step into a world, and whether you rise or fall is on you. That teaches something the real world rarely does anymore. Responsibility. Not just for the outcome, but for the journey. You ever lose in a multiplayer game and blame your teammate? The lag? The matchmaking? Yeah, we've all been there. But single-player games? When things go left, it's all on you. And that kind of accountability is rare, but real. It builds resilience. It makes you pay attention. It teaches you to stop blaming the world and start refining yourself. Think about it. God of War teaches about fatherhood and grief. The Last of Us hits you with survival and sacrifice. Red Dead Redemption makes you question morality and loyalty. These aren't just stories. They're reflections of the world we live in, and sometimes they teach us more than school ever did. In single-player games, there's no rush. You can explore, you can fail, you can come back later and try again. No judgment. It gives you permission to breathe, to grow, to be curious without competition breathing down your neck. And in a society that wants everything fast, that's a form of rebellion. You ever notice how quiet it gets when you're in a single-player world? That silence? It's not empty, it's sacred. You start paying attention to the little things, the way the world moves, the dialogue, the atmosphere. It sharpens your senses. It tunes your spirit. It reminds you that not all value comes from noise. Playing solo means you get time to actually sit with your thoughts. You don't just react, you respond. And after a good single-player session, you ever just sit back and think about life differently? It's like therapy, without saying a word. You start questioning your habits, your choices, your patterns. Because in those quiet digital worlds, you finally hear your own voice again. Single-player games often give you choices. Do you save the stranger or walk away? Do you take the hard road or the easy one? Do you fight or forgive? And each choice shapes who your character becomes. That's the lesson right there. Every small decision is shaping your story. You're not just playing a game, you're practicing character building. A lot of people say games are just an escape, but I disagree, especially when it comes to single player. Because when you're navigating challenges, solving puzzles, reading emotional cues, you're actually training your mind. You're learning patience, problem solving, focus, and even empathy. And the crazy part, you carry those skills into the real world. You just don't realize it until later. Multiplayer games are built around numbers. They thrive on popularity, on ranking, on followers, on speed. But single player? They honor the individual. They don't care if you're fast. They don't care if you're popular. They don't care how many skins you have. They just ask you one thing. Can you keep going? Even when it's hard. Even when it's lonely. Even when no one's watching. That's not just a game. That's life preparation. So yeah, multiplayer games are cool. They're fun. They bring community. But single-player games, they bring clarity. They bring growth. They bring truth. Because in that solo story, you're the hero. You're the student. You're the creator. And you're reminded that you don't need a crowd to be powerful. You don't need a scoreboard to know you're winning. You don't need noise to know you're growing. This is seeing unlimited greatness. And this is your reminder. The strongest people don't always play with a team. Some of them grind in silence. And when they show up, they change the whole map. If you'd like to support the channel and help us keep pushing forward, there are links in the description where you can donate. Every contribution helps us reach more people, do more good, and keep this mission alive. There's also a store down below where you can grab something for yourself, or even better, a gift for someone you care about. It's a simple way to spread love and let someone know they matter. We're all just trying to grow, to become better, to rise above the noise and step into who we're really meant to be. and I truly believe change is possible. The kind of change that creates a ripple effect and helps others see the beauty still left in this world. This channel is about real growth, real transformation, and I'm here to give you a front row seat to what that looks like. Raw, honest, and grounded in purpose. God is within all of us, and my goal is simple: to reflect that light as clearly and powerfully as I can for you and for the world around us.